How it go?
Ooh-wee!
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 Ooh.
It's Sweat Equity Podcast and Streaming Show, the number one.
DJ Volume Master.
And another one.
I'm
Comedy / business podcast in the world. Ooh-wee!
You already did that.
I'm going to keep doing ooh-wees, dude. Did we win a new award? What's the new award?
Business Podcast of the Year from, what was it?
Corporate Vision Magazine?
Corporate Vision.
Yeah.
Thanks, Corporate Vision. I see you.
We already locked up 2023, and it's not even done.
Yeah.
Listen to us on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. If you're listening to this in your ear holes right now, go on there, subscribe, rate, review, and then take the extra leap, share this knowledge with someone you like.
Do you think anybody listens through their nose holes?
I don't know, man. I don't know how sound works.
Obviously.
What I do know is that we got a couple sponsors I'm going to rip through. If you need a website, use Squarespace. It's the all-in-one website builder, e-commerce, build your brand. Don't let anybody dictate your message. Build your own website. Get the hookup, holler if you hear me, with a link in the episode description. CallRail. You want to track all the calls on your website? You got a lot of volume. You want to record all the calls for quality assurance, but like legit quality assurance, so you can actually look at them and go,
creepy.
Hey,
not being creepy.
You're talking to a guy all wrong here. CallRail call tracking.
If you're Rodney Dangerfield.
Link in the episode description. Bigly Sales, a CRM with marketing outreach, and now a lot of AI happening in that biz. Get the hookup. Holler if you hear me.
There's a lot of AI in the biz.
Episode description has the link. And lastly, LinkedIn Premium. You want to see who's looking at you on your profile? You want to get your career advanced? Get 2 months free with a link in our episode description for LinkedIn Premium. Let's get this party started.
No.
Party started.
It's called Sweat Equity.
Listening to the Sweat Equity Podcast.
We're rolling. We're going. Sounds like we're getting you in between a couple meetings. Is that about right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, the serious question we have for you is, what toothpaste are you using? Because wow,
your teeth are very white.
Yeah, this is a serious podcast.
Very impressively white.
Hey, you only floss the teeth you want to keep is something a guy told me one time. And I didn't really listen, so I wound up getting the veneers.
Oh, you cheated.
So make money, get veneers. That's
110%. No, real story is like, I'm driving to a vacation house my wife and I own. And my little boy, like his best friend, we'd invited his best friend and their family over to our house. We hung out with them. And we're meeting these folks up at this vacation house, right? And his dad was a dentist. Well, we had a little group party there one day at my house. Like my wife and her good friend meets this guy. His name's Spencer. Real nice guy. And Erin's on the phone while we're driving up to our vacation home. And she's telling her friend Karina, oh yeah, like, guess who we're going to go hang out with? And Karina's like, who? And Erin's like, well, smile. And Karina goes, Zaddy? And I don't know what the fuck Zaddy means. Like, I don't know what that means. But you could tell she felt that he was hot because of his smile.
Oh, okay.
And so, like, we get up there, and, like, I kind of made fun of my wife. I was like, oh, really? Yeah, okay, cool. So we get up there, and he's a dentist. So I'm like, all right, dude, what are you doing? He's like, bro, I cheated. I got veneers. They're like, fuck this. Like, teeth aren't white. Get veneers.
To my, I hate that word, that term so much.
Which one?
Zaddy? Veneers. I hate veneers. No,
I've never heard zaddy before.
You've been out of the dating game for a while.
What does that mean?
Well, I mean, I've only heard it from women I've gone on dates with. Swinging. I'm hitting all the 4s and 5s around Tampa Bay.
Right. But what does it mean?
I asked.
You don't know, do you? You don't know.
No, to my knowledge, I'm just a little slow today. Okay, relax. It's like a dude that kind of takes care of his ladies or something like that. I'll look it up while you can make fun of me.
Okay. Oh, so Z, it's a Z plus daddy combo.
Yeah, zaddy.
What does the Z stand for?
I just don't like how it sounds, like moist.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's not as bad as that. Can't repeat it.
A very handsome, sexy, mature man. I think that's how it was described to me. I go, why didn't you just tell me that? Just say that to me.
That's odd.
Just,
Why do we need that?
I can't believe you've never seen
I've
this or
never
heard of this.
seen it, never heard it, nothing.
Hmm.
Good to know, I guess.
Well, I mean, we're talking to King Zaddy right now in the business sense.
Maybe in the real sense too.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean that goes without saying.
I definitely got the smile.
He's got that zaddy smile.
You know, it's the charm that really comes through Zoom, that it exudes. We've got some questions. You know, we asked you the first time you came on, what advice would you give your 13-year-old self? And, you know, we give everybody this chance if you want to edit that at all. I know you probably thought about this episode coming up
Probably
a lot.
every day since we last recorded it.
Yeah,
I would guess.
You gained so much knowledge from us when you came in thinking you're going to drop
You
wisdom.
just keep thinking of all the smart stuff we said before, and you're like, man, it applies to everything.
Man, I don't even remember what advice I gave my 13-year-old self last time. Let's see. I'll give some new advice, so if you want that. Let's see. Mean people need love, too. You know what? I used to be a mean guy. Now, I'm not a mean guy. Most mean people, they're just not getting as much love as all the nice people out there. So next time you see somebody mean, just go give them a hug. Treat them nice. Mean people need love, too. There's today's advice for the 13-year-old self.
Do you feel that would have changed your course of life? Being nice?
Probably would smooth things out.
Okay.
You know what? Get a lot of flies with honey. Not so much the other shit.
As my buddy, my comedian buddy Brendan T. Gleason said, "Why the hell do I want flies?" It's a weird saying, right?
That is true. Never thought of it.
You know, you grew up in El Paso. I remember last time you were on, you were telling us a story about going with your dad in the pickup truck and having to go get invoices. Is that true? Okay, because you weren't nodding your head.
Guessing?
Damn it! I had totally botched this one. No,
I was sitting here going, "Wow, I'm impressed that you remembered the interview."
Yeah, no, I remember the good ones, and so
Nice.
you know, I remember that seemed to be a rough upbringing that kind of, in my head, in a shorthand way, led to your entrepreneurial kind of endeavors. But let's ask a silly question before we get back into that. You want to pick one of these?
I already know that my new favorite ones.
Okay.
What's something crazy you think you can do that people will be like, "What? Like you think you can do that?"
Like, I think I can race a car,
Right.
and I don't know how to
race
drive stick.
jump out of a plane with no parachute. Something crazy.
Like, what's something you think you can do or want to do, and everyone's like,
Or you
"That's
have you think
fucking
you have a
nuts."
special talent for this thing.
What is a special talent that I think I can do that?
Or desire.
Yeah, just a desire of some kind. Like, I want to own a minor league soccer team.
All right, I'll give you a 5-year goal we were discussing today.
Okay.
So we hit, October is our 5-year anniversary for my largest company from when I bought it. And we hit all of our goals, blew them out of the park. And we have a new goal that we're setting for October 5 years from now. And we're trying to put everything into alignment to kind of start working on this goal as soon as we can. Now, we want to get a little head starts by October. We're already leading in. And our goal for October, 5 years from this coming October, is we want to have our company with effectively a very strong debt and balance sheet position, okay? Trajectory built for growth. And we want to be able to give away 50% of the wealth we generate every year, every 50% of all of our net profits to charities that we believe in.
Wow.
So you sell Tom's shoes and you go, hold my beer, basically.
I mean,
And
I was hoping for the minor league soccer, sort of answer.
Yeah.
That one is that's very noble.
Well, I've become a part of this group recently, and they asked a really good question, real bunch of really good guys, Christian guys. And they said, everybody looks at what can I make? What can I do? And then they started asking questions like, what can I give? How much can you give? Like if you adjust your goals to how much you can give, holy smokes. It changes the intentions, it changes the outcomes, it makes it more fun. You really get to play a lot more. And man, when you're helping somebody, when you're doing something right, even better if you're helping them in a way that's like compelling and they start helping themselves and it grows, holy shit, like that's the juice and the sweet of life. That's what it's about.
That's intriguing to me.
Yeah, no.
Because I feel like that apply for a lot of people. They're probably not doing their best because it's for themselves. Because I think maybe a lot of people sort of are motivated helping others, but they're thinking of it in the wrong terms, in terms, entrepreneurship wise.
Well, there's
a question in there. What's the difference between fame and greatness?
I don't know what you're famous for. Hitler's famous.
Infamous.
Who you're helping.
That's what I meant to say.
Greatness is all about doing the right thing to the guy next to you, the gal next to you. Fame is all about that. Fame is all about like building your brand, building your, image, doing this. Like there's lots of folks on Instagram that are famous. Some of them are also great. There's nothing wrong with being famous and great, but I would aim at greatness, and then if fame comes too, fine. But nothing wrong with being adulated. But shouldn't you seek greatness first and then go for fame?
I really like it.
Yeah, there's one of my favorite podcasts, Your Mom's House. They play a clip from a motivational entrepreneurial speaker that talks about you have to make money to be able to help other people first. You got to make money first, then you can help other people.
You got to put on your own face mask while the plane's going down before you can put it on your kids.
Yeah. And you've gotten to that level now, and Mazel Tov for not getting depressed like a lot of people that get to that area, because you get there and you go, this is it, right? And I thought things would be different. This is why a lot of famous people go crazy, right? Because they get to that pinnacle, and then they go, I'm still not. I have a void to fill, and I can't figure it out.
Seems obvious.
I've got two pitches for this 50% that involve Eric and I. Number one, I want to go with you to. We want to fly to El Paso, go with you to church, and you have to donate the tithing, a lot of tithing in the collection plate all at once, like a clown with just ribbons of dollars just coming out to get. Oh, hold on.
Get one of those dollar bill shooting machines.
Yeah.
And you just aim it right down into the thing, and, then it flies everywhere.
We come in with boat horns, and then and make it rain cash in church.
Or a check in an envelope.
I'll tell you what, like I do give to my church. I don't know if I'd give that much there though. Like I actually focus a lot of my giving outside of the United States.
Okay. Tough crowd. Tough pitch.
But I mean, it would be funny.
No, I mean, they don't say how you have to give it. Doesn't have to be tacky, right? That's a double negative. All right. Here's the other one. This one could. I remember Publishers Clearinghouse. You send us to do the check. We get the big novelty check wherever you want to send us to do it for you. If you don't want to fly,
the charity's home office space. Yeah. We'll knock on the door, unannounced, of course.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. That sounds fun.
That I just want to bring back, but I feel like if you're donating, you're going to be the one that's there.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. We'd be the ones stealing the credit.
All I can think of
we'll get a big picture. We'll get a picture of Preston's face just as big as the check.
For sure. Oh, he's on the check. Yeah, that's a must.
Or maybe the check itself has Preston's face. Okay.
Yeah, we'll fix it in post. So that's interesting. I think a lot about lately about all these big time CEOs. They get to a certain point, right, as they've been successful. And then they got to figure that next thing out. And I feel like a lot of it goes into what you're doing and or kind of their own health wellness journey as well. So you have like A
Right.
lot of guys.
Jiu-jitsu.
Or
Elon and Zuckerberg going to fight it out.
Bezos might be doing roids. Like
Maybe. Maybe.
They start hitting the gym, all those kind of things. Sorry, what were you saying?
Why not do all of it?
Right.
Like you can make all the money in the world. You don't have your health. You're not going to enjoy it. Your ex-wife will when you win work. Like, if you think about the word wealth, it actually originated from the word health. Like, I'm 41 today. I could kick my 20-year-old self's ass.
Why?
Hold on, do that again. I missed that shot.
Why you got to do that, bro?
Boom.
Why you got to bring my self-esteem down?
Nothing wrong with health. Like, focus on your health. Focus on your wealth. Focus on your family. Focus on your faith. Like,
For those listening, he just showed us his 8-pack and a little bit of the root of his dick.
Mm.
No.
know that.
No. Sorry, I cut you off.
Let's just talk about giving to his church.
Why not hit all of them? Like, I like to look at where's the biggest problem. Where's the biggest fucking problem I can dive into? Like, most of us, we think that, problems are something we should avoid. Like, I think the biggest problem we probably have in society is we think we shouldn't have any problems. Figure out your biggest problem. Like, if you're overweight, that's a fucking problem. There's no old fat people, right? So look at it and say, hey, what do I need to do? Like, look at your ancestry. What did my ancestors eat? Pretty good chance your diet plan should be more aligned with what theirs was. Maybe not with, like, I don't know, McDonald's. Like, maybe stop eating cheeseburgers at McDonald's and go say, oh, okay, my ancestors were from Scotland or whatever. They were Highlanders. Okay, you probably hunted and ate a lot of meat. You're probably more on the keto diet. Like, oh, my ancestors were Central and South American. They were farmers, whatever. You probably eat more of that. Like, go figure out what you need, solve that problem. If it's a health problem, if it's a wealth problem, what if your, like, marriage is not going well? Like, what if you can't find somebody that would ever marry you? Like, that's also a problem, Like, you gotta go and figure out, where do you have issues? What's the greatest issue, and then dive into that. But work on all areas every day. Like, what's wrong with each area every day? Anyone I know that, and I've got billionaire clients, and I'm not a billionaire, but I'm getting up there. And at a meeting today to establish a private office and actually have guys helping manage my investments and all this other shit. It's really cool. I was like, oh yeah, man, let's go. And so we'll see. Maybe we will get to that B position in the family. But everyone I know is in that either the billionaire block or in the world changer block. Because either way, you're very highly productive, right? They're focusing on their fitness. They're focusing on their family. They're focusing on their faith. They're focusing on their finance. They're worrying about another one too. The other one's not a need. It starts with FU and ends with N, fun. You should focus on that one too. Most people don't have it. You should have a lot of that shit. Like, why not have fun? Why not have fun with your fitness? Like, why not have fun with your finance? Like, why not have fun with your faith and your family? Like, how are you giving energy? How are you receiving energy? Receiving energy is faith, giving energy is family. But you got to do all of it, man. I mean, different gurus will guru themselves in one area, and then they'll try to teach every area. I don't teach every area, but I can still have a 6-pack. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I have high energy. Like, I'm 41 years old. I've got like 30-year-old employees with beer guts. Got a lot of 30, 35-year-old friends, and they're like, dude, how do you have so much energy? I'm like, oh, fuck, do you not have energy? Like, there's so much epic shit to do. Like, I've got a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old. I want to keep up with them. Like, I got a hot-ass wife. I want to chase her ass around the bedroom. I want to be like, I'm tired, baby. I don't want to be at work. Fuck that. Like, we'll all go buy energy in a can. But we could just eat good food. Maybe drink less, smoke less. I mean, focus on all of the different areas, man. Like, all of them are fucking important. And the one where you have the largest problem, you dive into that one, you're going to figure out success.
My biggest. What's your biggest problem?
What? My
Jesus.
biggest problem?
I'm not a cop knocking on the door. You're like, what?
I was just thinking about what person said. I was thinking about how I saw a thing on Reddit where it was like, my 90-year-old great grandmother tried on her wedding dress and she still fits in it. And it's like, hey, guess where all the other great grandmothers are who don't fit in their wedding dress?
Yeah.
They're dead.
Yeah.
Huh? That's what I was thinking about.
I was thinking my biggest problem is I'm too generous of a lover.
Right.
When
Takes
they're
up all your
that's
time.
too much.
Yeah.
You're like too good. That's all I think about.
Let's dive into that right there. That's good.
Thank you.
And that's,
Let's do
I
that.
think that's one that a lot of people have. Let's work on it, right? So in life, there's like three types of people. You got your givers, you got your matchers, you got your takers.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And at least at any one point in time, you're one of those three. I mean, all people have probably at some point been a taker. If you're haggling at a fucking like flea market, you're probably a taker. That's okay. You're in that energy. You know, if you're like at church and they're passing the offering tray, you might be a giver, you might be a taker, who knows? But like, hopefully you're a giver at that moment, right? And then there's the matchers. There's the ones that want like that exchange, like, hey, let's exchange value. Like, I'm gonna pay you some money, and you deliver on the promise and the product promise you offered with your business. Okay, cool, matching. Well, what's funny is givers judge takers, and takers judge givers. And I grew up in many ways a taker. But then I learned to understand takers. I learned to understand givers, and I learned to understand matchers. There's nothing wrong with matching. There's nothing wrong with being generous and being a giver. We've all done it. Some people default to that a little bit too much. But those folks do judge the takers, right? Like, you're a giver, right, bro? Like, so if you look at somebody who is a taker, you're generally looking at them and you're like, man, I can't trust that guy. That guy's gonna, like, you know, maybe take advantage, right?
Maybe when I was
yeah,
young-
we've only been there 1,000 times.
when I was younger, for sure.
Okay.
Feel like
I mean, professionally,
yeah,
I know for a fact both of us.
Yeah, you get better at snuffing that out.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
hopefully most people do, but maybe most people don't. I don't want to stop. I don't want to stop your flow though.
So if you're like, say I'm as an entrepreneur, I'm a giver. Like, you have to be. You go out and create a value proposition, figure out some way to tap into the market, to beat everybody else's offer, all that. You have to be a giver. And you're going to spend, that 5, 10, 15 years just like at work, slaving away, not working the 8-hour job you could have taken. You're going to go work 12 hours, 18 hours, because you got to find a way to make it work. You're going to give to create that, right? Well, you're hoping enough matchers will come and buy your product. And then you get some of those people that come in and they're takers and they start taking advantage. But I will throw you kind of a presupposition here that I think happens to entrepreneurs as they go through that giver journey. They never lose the ability to be a giver. They always stay generous, but they graduate from giver to matcher. They master that one as well. And then they become a taker. Okay. And what I do is I take responsibility for making sure everybody receives what they need. I take responsibility to fill my cup first, because I know when my cup's running over that I could be more generous than anybody else out there. But if I'm pouring from an empty cup, then I'm empty. So I'm a taker that takes responsibility to make sure that everybody is served. There's nothing wrong with any of the three, but you have to figure out a way to balance the approach. If you have any one of the energies that's too strong, you put a taker in a room full of givers, you're going to rob all the givers. You put a giver in a room full of takers, that person's going to be bankrupt in an hour, because that's just their nature. That's their default. You can't have a default. You got to have the ability to be conscious and think, who do I need to be right now? Where do I need to go? How do I need to step up? Like, you're constantly giving. That's beautiful. Sometimes you need to be taking. And the only thing in understanding, the only way a taker is going to understand you is if you take back. You have to speak their language to them. If I get in a room, there's a guy posturing, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to posture right back so fucking hard, so fast, because that's the language he speaks. It's the only thing that dipshit understands.
Mirroring.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, some people understand leverage, the takers. Other people understand love, the givers, right? Now, if I walk in, there's a room with a bunch of givers, I'm going to protect them. I'm not going to let them give too much. I'm going to make sure it's a fair deal. I'm going to kind of mold them into the matcher. If there's a bunch of takers, I'll posture right back and I'll mold them into the matcher. If it's a charitable situation, I'll allow myself to give a little more because I have a little more. You follow?
Yeah.
It's balancing to the modality. Always.
You took
Very wise.
a 3 out of 10 joke I was just tossing out there into a really great
It's
philosophical
breaking my brain.
kind of convo. You know, you live a purpose-driven life. Can you tell us about that? It sounds like you're hyper-focused in what you want to do personally and professionally. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think so.
For those listening, and if you have to go back to the episode before, the first episode you came on, I have to go listen to that, kind of hear your origin story, because we kind of went a little bit through that. Was there a time where you were kind of rudderless and figured out how to get focused? Or is
Was
it
there a
is it innate? Is it nature nurture? A mix of, is it one more than the other? Is it, did you have an epiphany moment where you go, I got to turn this ship around? Or were you
every
ever,
every moment's an epiphany moment?
well, then
Okay.
it wouldn't be an epiphany, right?
Hmm.
If all there are a lot of epiphany moments, then it's not an epiphany, right?
Oh my god! I
Yeah,
just
well,
realized
it's not an
that.
epiphany for most people because they get stuck.
Right. I'm just,
The day you stop growing is the day you start dying. You just get to choose when you die.
right.
I mean, The Walking Dead was a show about zombies, but it's frankly real today. How many people do you see get triggered over the dumbest shit on the planet?
Yes.
I thought you were going to
Like-
go with people in the crosswalk on their phone,
Like,
literally
let's-
walking like zombies.
Let's talk about The Walking Dead. Okay,
Okay, I have theory.
I-
Okay.
in our time, I like people in our time, and they'll get triggered because you're black or white, or rich or poor, or male or female, or other. They'll get triggered by words you say. People got triggered about whether you took a fucking shot or unknown chemicals or not. People get triggered about a different movement every few seconds because we're so conditioned, because we've lost the ability to have an epiphany. We've lost the ability to challenge our own God. Like, and I'm not talking about God in heaven, like, or Jesus. I'm not that one. I'm talking about like whatever their religion is, whatever they would kill or die for. Maybe it's the Democrat Party or the Republican Party or climate change or whatever the fuck it is.
Their higher power. Yeah.
Like their higher power prevents them from being able to think. If you can think, you can question. If you can question, you can receive answers. If you want a better life, you have to ask better questions. And every day I spend time asking questions. I ask so many fucking questions. Like, I love questions. Like, life is a dance. And we're going to go through it. And I look at like say, so, I mean, obviously you guys are a business podcast and people don't know the first part of your podcast. They don't know that I'm really a business guy. But at the end of the day, like once you've succeeded in business, it gets boring. You're like, oh shit, well I can just build that. And that would be, that's fucking boring. Like, but then you start thinking, okay, well, what's the point? Okay, like, and I'll come at you from a Christian point, right? Like I'm going to come as a Christian. Like some reviewers may be, some may not be, but like at least take it. It works in every context.
Philosophically, yeah.
Just I'm going to teach it the way I learned it. Okay?
Right.
In the good book, God says, I knew you before you were born. Like to me, if I'm a Christian, I'm like, okay, well, I was probably in heaven. If you're a Christian, you think, well, heaven's perfect. Well, so why did I come here? Well, I'll say life is a gift, but this place is not fucking perfect. Why would you send me here? Did I do something wrong? What did I do? Like we live in a world where the leading cause of death for women over the last 40,000 years is childbirth. Well, that's a problem. We should probably stop having kids, right? Huh. We live in a world where the best moments in life are when people overcome adversity. Well, that's weird. Okay, so that's another word for problems. And then it says if you're a Christian, at least you did all the right stuff and you move through life the right way, you get to go back home to where you started in the first place. So this was sort of like a vacation full of fucking problems. Why are we here? And I think that, when you start diving into those studies, when you get into some of that more esoteric stuff, you start really having fun and you start really learning. So you get to ask better questions. You get to have better epiphanies. Like I literally think problems are gifts. I think your greatest strength and your greatest weakness come from the exact same day of your life. You find your biggest problem, you dive into that, you learn more about yourself in that single moment than you ever thought possible. And more than that, like when you have kids and you start seeing some of the situations they're having, they're gonna have problems too, and you maybe help them get through it. As you age and as you grow, you're gonna have more problems, not less. So you start getting into some of this. Like, dude, you can have epiphanies every day of the week. Or you can get stuck in what some dipshit put on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube or some other media or social media or whatever, like even podcasts. Like I see some shit on podcasts and I love watching smart people. But then there's a lot of stupid people that are just like, oh, Joe Biden. I'm like, okay, yes, he's stupid. Frankly, so was Trump. Frankly, so was Bush. Right? All of these guys. Like, dude,
We like liars. We like the shiny.
they are all fucking lying. None of them are telling you facts. All of them have movements. Some do better jobs than others, but they're all narcissistic assholes. But we fall in line with like this stuff, and it's cool, and we get so stuck in these like little dopamine hits on our cell phones that we can't have epiphanies frequently, and it blocks frankly, miracles in your life, dude. Like, you start having fun with everything you're doing. You start like being loving and kind to everybody around you. You start, having just absolute certainty and confidence. Like, you build your fitness up, you get fucking rich. You want to know the law of attraction? Have everything that everyone wants. It's real easy. You will find more relatives that you didn't even know you had when you have more money than you ever thought possible. They come out of the woodwork. Okay? Like, that's the law of attraction. I have more cousins that I didn't even know were fucking real. I mean, they're just showing up. Hey, can I borrow some money? No. Glad you're my cousin, though. That's fucking weird.
We need that 30 for 30. Broke.
But having what everyone
That's why
wants,
I chill on making all that money, is I got a lot of West Virginia family.
having what everyone wants, that's sort of the fame versus greatness, right? Like, it's not about having it. It's about showing that it's possible. Like, what if the point of this life was the problems, guys? What if every time you challenged yourself and dove into a problem, you learned more about yourself, you learned more about your world, you might learn more about God, you might learn more about all these different things. You can have epiphanies all the time, unless you're ignorant or stupid. And then it's off limits to you because you've already got a religion that controls you.
So frustrating when people don't have that mindset. They think they know everything.
What a cogent amount of rants we've gotten in
Yeah.
30 minutes that, totally agree with you. And this, we may be the number one business comedy podcast in the world.
Philosophical.
Well, but we talk about there's philosophy, but it's a lot of psychology too. And though you can't ignore both in business. I'm sure you would co-sign on that. One thing I would say to the people listening that, need to figure out how to get epiphanies. There's a Ron White quote I just heard. He's one of my favorite comics for 20 years. Got to open for him once. It was awesome. When things are going bad, slow down. When things are going really good, slow the fuck down. And it sounds like you're in that second zone, because it sounds like you're analyzing a lot. And what are you going to do on this blue marble that you're only on here for so long?
Let me give you a formula for epiphany. Would you like that?
Stoicism? Because you're a bleeding Marcus Aurelius, man.
Yeah, man.
I'm going to give you a formula for anyone advancing in any area of their life that they want. They can follow the same formula, and it will blow their life up so radically in such a divine and wonderful way. It will be uncomfortable, but comfort is where opportunity goes to die. So fuck being uncomfortable. You want to stay in your comfort zone. You probably do other dumb shit too, right? So, but would you like that formula? How about that one?
Yeah.
Give us the holy grail formula to life.
Holy grail formula. All right. I want you to imagine a staircase with 5 steps. Okay. It is a 5-step formula. Anyone can do 5 things. Okay. Anyone. The first one, and it's the life formula, simplest shit in the world. Being. What is being? It's time. It's stillness. Right? And you get a gift here. I'll explain the gifts in a second. Next one, becoming. Oh, wow. What does that mean? Well, you can't just stay in stillness. You got to do some shit. You got to move. You got to take action. Right? When you move, when you take action, there's another gift in this, and you get to move to the next step. Believing. Okay? Believing. You ever look at the words belief? It comes from the root words of be, love. Okay? And there's another gift in this one as well. It's funny, all these gifts I think are biblical as well, which is radical. Because when I made this, I wasn't trying to reference it to the Bible, but it links in an exact correlation from what I understand. Okay? So being, becoming, believing. Then you get another gift of believing. You move to the next one, belonging. You found a new plateau, a new place to your stand. The journey, at least this little journey, this little goal set has ended. Because you're at belonging. But it ended and didn't end because it was only the 4th step. There's another step you can take, which is blessing. And that's where you start giving back to others. Okay? And so let me tell you the gifts that come in these, because it's really interesting. Being, stillness, you get the gift of time. Becoming, you're moving. You can measure movement. You get the gift of talent. Okay? And every step, by the way, being, what are you studying during that time? Let's go back to being. You're studying your fucking problems. Dive into the biggest problem. You haven't studied it. Study it like you would your wife. Study it like you would your Bible. Study it like you would your religion. And you question it. Becoming, take some action. Solve it. So you get time, you get talent, believing, testimony. Why is the Bible the best-selling book on the planet? Probably testimony. There's all sorts of stories. We love stories. Facts tell, stories sell, right? Let's go to belonging. Treasure. Man, when you get up to blessing, there's two, bro, and it's so crazy. It's the only one that you get two gifts, okay? You get truth and you get trust. Because once you have the truth and you have trust, oh my gosh, bro, like you start changing lives.
I'm gonna have to take a nap, or a break, or something
You got to go be.
to absorb all this.
No, this is very in depth and definitely from our last episode we had John. This is definitely a lot more. We're gonna have to go do shrooms in the woods and
I
kind of
like
figure each other out, by ourselves, respectfully. But
So we stay like 20 feet away.
yeah,
so for safety.
buddy
We
system.
we don't
Yeah.
talk to each other, but we can see each other, make sure they're not catching themselves on fire, stuff like that.
yeah, look,
Tissues to one another.
I'll be part of your congregation whenever the super church opens, my friend.
Yeah, you're a hype
I'll
man.
probably stay the business guy, but I'll always be the free thinker.
You're still proselytizing the truth, so that's all good, man. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate it. And your dollar per hour is a lot higher than ours, so we really appreciate you coming on and dropping knowledge.
Yeah, man.
Guys, thanks for having me. I hope it helps someone.
So yeah.
Have a great day, guys.
Bye.
Bye.